In the Ivy household, Jared Ivey's father, Gary, made Sunday night television an event.
They love watching wrestling. They watch wrestling Sunday night, Monday Night Raw, Thursday night, I think SmackDown or whatever it was.
Nobody's cooking, first of all. Pizza and wings, move all the furniture, and we make a pallet, so nothing gets too broken.
I was kind of glad that I was no longer the opponent for the wrestling matches. So the boys actually gave me a breath of fresh air as well.
Then my husband would turn the light off, and then he would flip the light off, and like the Undertaker, they would do that and roll their eyes in the back of their head.
He had this thing that he did, like the claw. Gary was just so much fun.
He was just larger than life. He was, when I look back, to me, he's still just like an animated movie character.
The fun that Gary brought wasn't just reserved for Friday night SmackDown. His goal was to create a community full of joy.
He was like the glue in the neighborhood. To me, it was almost like an extension of the college days. And I'm not exaggerating, it was just that kind of fun.
One summer, they had a rib-off. To speak nicely, it wasn't a competition. My dad put some blood, sweat, and tears into those ribs, and it paid off.
That was his love language. If he cooked for you, he liked you.
So my boys would love going by just because they knew they could eat whatever they want, have whatever they want, and I knew they were well taken care of. And I didn't complain about having a break. It was just a wonderful situation.
He made family outside of family, so to speak. If he met you, there was always something that he was looking to offer or looking to expand the relationship. And he always wanted to know what he could do to set his community up to be better.
It reminds me of the importance of never losing the child inside. You know what I mean? Sometimes we've got so many responsibilities. Life at times is so serious that it's just important to keep the balance as much as possible. That's what Tracy and Gary and the family, did for us, for my family, helped to keep that balance.
The community was flourishing. But what happened next shook its very core.
I remember the day like it was yesterday. And
that was a Wednesday, and he wasn't feeling good that day.
I guess he got sick somewhere along the night. He started having indigestion, and he drove himself to the hospital, got out his car. In the parking lot, he didn't turn off the car or anything.
The emergency room called me to tell me he was on life support.
I'm like, where's Dad at? And she's like, hey, he's at the hospital. He was feeling a little sick, and he went by himself and just checked himself in.
When I got to the hospital, the truck was sitting in handicap parking with the key still in it. He ended up having an enlarged heart, and then he was on life support for about a week and a half. And then we got the word that they were gonna transition him and take him off because he was doing so well. And that Sunday morning, he literally had 2 bites of a piece of pineapple.
My sister called me, and she said something's wrong. And I said, what? Because I just talked to her, and she said that Gary was eating breakfast.
Then he couldn't catch his breath, and he kind of just looked at me and he said, Garrison, Jared, and then they called the code blue.
And I heard them call the code while I was on the phone with her. And by 4 o'clock that afternoon, my mom and I were in Atlanta.
It was all just like a dream, and I was hoping that I'd wake up. But it was real. And Garrison had tears just rolling down his eyes, and I said, Garrison, what's wrong? And he said, if I could just talk to my dad for five minutes. And I'm telling you, that broke my heart. My heart was so broken.
Nothing can repair the loss of a husband or a father, but the community Gary built was up for the challenge.
In Suwanee, I just had my community. And those were, they were my family.
It's one of those things where there are no words, that you don't know the right thing to say, but it was just important to me to just intentionally be there, and help out however we could. Even if there were no words, I think there were times when we weren't really, just your presence sometimes, just knowing that, you're not there alone, and hopefully that, was of help, and just an extension of love. That's all we could do at that time.
I would go out to my mailbox and there would be gift cards, not from, they wouldn't sign them, it would just be, a gift card.
My mom really leaned into her friends and the community. She had just a real supportive group of moms.
Those are the Swantees that, Jared can call Miss Lacey and get some macaroni and cheese. He knows he's gonna call my girlfriend Yolanda. They're gonna talk all things Marvel, because I can never remember anything Marvel and I fall asleep during the movies, but he knows he can call her and they can talk back, because they can't talk back with me.
Have always just loved on me when I need it. And they're also, parents of kids that I grew up with and some of my best friends just throughout my entire childhood.
It made us know that she was going to be okay, because she was surrounded by people who loved her, that cared for her, and they wanted the best for her and the boys.
One of the things North Gwinnett did do, they said if we stayed in the community, one of the things I didn't have to pay was registration fees for any sports that they played, which definitely helped.
First time that I actually remember meeting to her and talking to her was they were playing rec basketball for North Gwinnett. After practice, she had a Lincoln Navigator and it wouldn't start. So I had jumper cables and I said, well, I'll help you jump. And she was like, well, my husband used to take care of this stuff, but he's not around anymore. He passed away. And I'm like, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I said, if there's anything I can do to help out with Jared, let me know. I'm coming back and forth to practice all the time anyways.
Jim had no idea what those car rides would become.
He talked all the time. He talked continuously.
He talked a lot. We had a 3-question rule in the car.
My kid hardly didn't say anything, so when Jared would talk, it was refreshing, but then after a while, it was like, okay, Jared, that's enough. But no, you weren't gonna stop him. Once he got going, you weren't gonna stop him. When they were little, I would say stuff like, come on, let's play the quiet game, let's play the quiet game. And Jared goes, blah, 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 I lose, that's just... And I said, well, you don't know, Jared, maybe there was going to be a prize at the end. He said, what was the prize? I said, well, I was going to give you $20. Oh, let's play again. That
wasn't just because JR and Jared was tight. It was more so, Jim was sitting in a situation like, I can provide support here, and that's the right thing to do, so I'm going to do it.
We were playing AAU basketball, and it was Father's Day. One of the other players asked Jared, how come I never see your dad at the games? And Jared, didn't even know what to say. He just broke down and cried. And, I can't explain to the kid, his dad passed away, but his dad's got the best seat in the whole house,
His dad really, was that guy who, I could count on to just help me become a better man and a better person, and really prioritize me, like I was his own son when it comes to athletics.
The practice ride duo ran the courts and fields for North Gwinnett. That journey led to a new community.
3 weeks into it, I'm talking to him on the phone, and I just get a peace over me. A voice said to me, he's fine, he's good. I was like, you gotta show up. I don't know, what position, if you're starting. He didn't know, he didn't care.
If it was a big game or a big moment, you didn't have to worry about it.
I was literally on a plane on our way to Jamaica, and the Wi-Fi was touch and go, and that last play hits. And I'm trying not to scream on the plane. Oh my God. I was like, I couldn't even get it out.
And my wife was cracking up because I'm yelling at the screen, yelling, J.I., look, he ended it.
It's a free ball! Jared Ivey knocked it out for Ole Miss!
So we got off the plane, and my sister was waiting for me, and we're like, ah!
But somebody made the last sack. Yeah.
Let's go!
just like all of us, right? We need that kind of that moment like, yeah, I can be a big-time player in this conference, and I believe that was the one.
And then Tulane last year, in the heat at Tulane, the heat almost took me out.
Grabbed by Ivy. He's going down the sidelines. Big guy's going to score a TD. Big man touchdown. Exclamation point. Ole Miss.
Is that Jared? That what? He picked up, and he scored. Pick 6. I just chuckled and I was like, ooh. I said, you're giving him my look. That was my look.
And look up into the crowd and see kind of my little section, my little pack of other people supporting me. It was awesome.
My sister turned to me and she said, I think he's gonna get an award this game. It was like, for me, it was still touch and go, so I was still rocking like Sophia in the color purple during that game. And then we did it in Atlanta, you know, in our backyard. So that was special because he had a bunch of people from the high school. His high school basketball coach was there wearing his jersey.
Rockmeyer wants to throw. He's sacked and dropped back at the 32-yard line.
And best friend doesn't even describe it. That's my built-in brother. Like, these are like, his mom is my mom is his mom. That's truly like my family. And to see him do his thing, like, it makes me so proud. But at the same time, I'm not surprised.
I can only imagine what it's like for Tracy because of what she's known that family has gone through and what Jared has gone through emotionally and how proud she is of him. And I know how proud his dad's got to be of him looking at, watching down over him.
Jared is a person that is going to keep going until he gets it. And then when he gets it, he's looking at the next level. And that is my brother through and through.
He would want even more than I have right now. He would, still be just as hard on me as if I had nothing. And I'm starting at the beginning and, I think he's proud, but, I think that he knows that I know that this is just the beginning.
No doubt Gary is proud of his son, but also the woman who masterfully held it all together.
Someone that is able to not only navigate that, but produce success out of that is definitely a roadmap to be followed.
Her fortitude, her just everything that she had to kind of just do to just wake up every day to be there for the boys, it's just been absolutely amazing.
It's a powerful testimony, speaking in the realm of resilience.
Take a backseat in your own life to prop up somebody else. That really, I think, had a huge impact on me as a person.
He'd be looking at her and saying, I'm so proud of you, and I knew you could do it. And those boys, Gary's in those boys every single day, every single minute. He's smiling, he's laughing, and he's just telling her how proud he is of her.
Entering week 5 of the season, the Ole Miss Rebels have been untouchable. Prolific scoring and a stifling defense has elevated Kiffin's squad to the 5th-ranked team in the country. But this Saturday begins conference play, and that means a whole new level of competition.
Courage and look, do your job, start us out right. We throw the first punch. We throw the first punch. Let's go.
They know this will be a really tough test against a Kentucky team that's made defense the hallmark under Mark Stoops. Ready for the kick. Let's play some SEC football. Quick pass out to Harris, breaks the first tackle as he caught in the line of scrimmage, pushes it down to the 40-yard line of Kentucky. Got Harris wide open to the 23, middle of the field. He goes to 10, stiff arm to 5. He stretches to the end zone. They say no. Down at the 1-yard line. It's 1st and goal for Ole Miss. Harris has scored a touchdown, and that's 5 for 5 on opening drives for Ole Miss this year.
The quick strike by Dart and company was complemented by a hungry group of defenders.
He had his hands on it, but a nice job by Trey Amos, the cornerback. Try for the single coverage. A lot of hand fighting and an incomplete pass with Trey Amos in coverage. Vandegrift throws for Key, who got spun around as the ball arrived. The coverage from Jaden Kennedy. Sumo Karnbe dropped by Walter Nolan. And under duress and sacked. Vandegrift down. Jared Ivey first there.
Let's go!
while Pete Golding's defense was keeping Kentucky out of the end zone. The Wildcats were scratching and clawing to stay in the game.
Dart wants to throw. He's in trouble. He's going to be sacked. Nobody open, sacked, and the Rebels going to have to punt this one away. This is going to be a quick 3 and out.
The blitz from Kentucky, and down goes Dart. They have brought consistent pressure.
Wings at a crossing route is going to be caught, but Harris will not be able to get the first down. He's tackled instantly at the 33. It's 4th and 4, and the Rebels will have to punt.
They manned up in the secondary, and I thought the Rebels will have the advantage of that, but so far Kentucky's hung in there with our wide receivers.
The visitors from the Bluegrass State had more than doubled Ole Miss's time of possession in the first half, and the extra opportunities finally paid off.
Vandegrift looking to throw, looking for a man in the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, Dane Key. Well, he's gone to Key a lot. One-on-one coverage against Amos in the corner of the end zone, and Kentucky has the lead with 27 seconds left to go first half. They punched it in, and Kentucky leads it after the first half of play, 10-7.
We're in the type of game that we've been in with these guys before.
You saw that sack to end the half. What's their defensive front doing to challenge you?
They do a good job. They're really good. And like I said all week, these guys got really good players, and we got to do a better job. And we've taken some shots and missed them deep, and so we're going to have to make those and be more consistent.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Just the second time under Kiffin, trailing at home at the half. Number 5, Florida, and Lane's debut as the Ole Miss coach. They lost that game.
These things happen. You get in these games, all right? We're going to be in these games. We've been in this one before against these guys, okay? You got to come out. You got to do your job. Don't all of a sudden try to do more than what you're supposed to do. We'll make those plays. They're right there to be made, okay? We're going to make them in this half.
Vandegrift 11 out of 15 passing. Forced to step away, and he's taken down from behind.
There's the snap to Dart. He's in trouble in the backfield and dropped.
Sumo Karngbe back in, fakes everywhere. That took too long, and Vandegrift is dumped. Jared Ivey, the 3rd sack of the day for Ole Miss, and a big one. And now it's taking them out of field goal range.
I ain't gonna lie, we playing defense right now, boy.
Vandegrift in trouble and swung down. Suntaran Perkins the sack. And a loss of 9 for Kentucky.
The defensive back and forth led to the teams trading field goals, spurring Lane Kiffin to take the first gamble of the afternoon.
And Lane Kiffin, who leans heavily on analytics, is going to go for it on 4th down and 7. And they do snap it. And Kentucky blitzes up the middle. Dart throws a dart on the run. Trey Harris on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
We're not done. We're not done. Hey, let's go.
4.5 minutes to go and the clock running, and another Kentucky 3rd down. Vandegrift throws incomplete.
The 3rd down stop seemed as though it would force the 5th punt of the final quarter.
And is Mark Stoops going to go for this 4th down? It looks like it on his own 20-yard line. It's one-on-one coverage. It's up for grabs and caught by Barrion Brown. Still on his feet and all the way to the 17-yard line. Wimson keeps it, following Sumo Karngbe, and the ball comes out into the end zone, and it's recovered for a touchdown by Josh Caddis.
Turnabout is fair play, and now it was Ole Miss's turn to dig themselves out of a 4th and long hole.
From their own 24-yard line, he doesn't need the analytics book to know you have to go for it. 4-man rush. They don't get close to Dart, but he can't find anybody open. Throws on the run, and it is caught by Caden Priestcorn, the tight end.
The Rebels had pulled the rabbit from the hat, but still needed 3 points to send this nail-biter to overtime.
Hayden Davis, 48-yard field goal attempt.
And he's got a sidewinder kick that's going to be way wide left and no good. With 48 seconds left, Kentucky is in position to upset the 5th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. It's 20-17 Kentucky.
That's what's going to happen, man, when you play in this league. This guy's got good players, good team. You let him hang around. Okay, you had great momentum. You did great things all right in the 3rd quarter, and then you got to finish them off. This is a great lesson, all right?
We're going to come back. We're going to evaluate the tape. We're going to coach you better, right? We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to have a better plan. You're going to be locked in and ready to roll. And I promise you this, you much rather this happen early, right? Because once you lock in and you focus, I promise you can't nobody beat you.
How can we minimize whatever issues that we have? We're always going to have a lot to work on. That makes sense. Keep your head up. The game ain't built on sympathy. Right? It does hurt, especially when you're out there going to war. Sometimes it don't hurt for everybody, but when you're out there going to war, it hurts. All we got to do is get back to work. Clean it up.
Yeah, I think we know what we're made of, and we know that we're just not going to cower it out and quit. So we're ready to get back to work next week and improve.
There's a lot of things that we need to improve on. Like I said, we got a lot more opportunities, so just going to continue to, this is going to be a wake-up call, and it's going to be a season-defining game for us, and how we answer that will have to do with the direction of how the season goes. So we got to buck up.